We are now entering into Series 3, the Italian Exotics update in Horizon 6, but a little bit of a warning is that this intro part might go a little bit longer because this car is particularly really liked by myself, as I kind of do have a bit of familiarity with it from Motorsport 4, and if you also remember back in the years 2006 and 7 there was a series called Flat Out. Now this car does appear in Flat Out, but due to the fact that they didn't license the vehicles, it is in that game known as Sparrowhawk. Now this is new to Horizon and it is coming from Motorsport, which I technically do not count it as a new to Motorsport either, because there's kind of like a little general rule about it. If you go into your Auto Vista like this and you explode the car, you will see how the doors and headlights pop up. Only the bonnet and trunk lid stay down. Now this is the reason I say it is technically not new, as this tells me it is in fact an older scan from the Xbox 360 era, and they've just done some visual upgrades like changing the badge to say GT5 and a few other things, but it should still be a fairly good car, so why don't we take it out and see how it drives in a race, and then we'll come back and put some upgrades on it. Well, I thought I'd hit the rally trails in this. Now I did mention that this car was in, like a variant was in the Flat Out series. Now currently, as of recording this video, I'm not sure if I should have it uploaded by Friday. The games are currently on sale on Steam if you want to try out. I highly recommend it, as it was childhood games growing up for me. So yeah, what I'm going to do is try and replicate it to look like a Sparrowhawk as much as possible, minus the paint job. At the moment it seems to drive reasonably good on dirt. Now the reason I decided to do it on dirt is because, like that game, you never had trails like this, you never had point to point, it was all circuit based, and you quite often got a mixture of terrain types, like, even though it was just arcade fun, chaos smashing into each other, which it also did have a large variety. I wouldn't say large, it was large back in the day, of opponents. You'd race in the second one, you'd have a total of 7 opponents, where in Carnage you had 11 opponents. And why I'm touching on this is because I kind of miss the days when your AI opponents actually had personalities that reflected who they were, and I kind of wish that would come back in racing games in general. Anyways, now that's out of the way, I just kind of had to get it out. I will focus mainly on this race here. Now I do hope we do have some fairly decent upgrades. So what I remember from it back in Motorsport 4, the kit we have now, the rear spoiler and front bumper, were the options you could put on it. I feel like that it may have flipped roles, so we should be able to get the standard Pantera parts as an option as well. I'm thinking I am going to do something different here. I will build it as a street scene, but also capable of racing off-road, like I said, to reflect Sparrowhawk as much as possible. Other than that, in its current non-upgraded states, I'd say it definitely does drive well off-road. You don't really need to do anything to this to make it competitive at all. It's what I like to see in a car added to Horizon. Now we've arrived back at the garage, why don't we throw some parts on this? Now let's start with what everybody would be most likely interested in, is the body kits and aero and appearance. Here we have absolutely no wide body options, but while I'm here I'm going to throw twin turbos because why not? And the aero and appearance, now I mentioned before, it looks like we do, because I remember back in Motorsport 4, I'm fairly certain this upgrade bumper we have right now was the option we could add on it from the Tomaso, and this version is the one that was already on the car when you buy it. So I prefer this one over that because I think that sticks out a lot. It does look more aerodynamic, but I like that one better, so we'll put that on there. And the rear wing, this is where we should be able to remove it off entirely. And yes, we can remove it, but we also, they add the Horizon 6 rear wing, so you got that or that option. There really should have been an option to take it off, but me personally, I prefer this wing we've got on it, so we'll just leave that on there. Now what we're going to do is go into the upgrades. Now I'm going to definitely put a race intake on here, then we'll go into carburetor because it is carbureted. We'll put in the sports, so with the ignition. Now I want to try and replicate Sparrowhawk as much as possible in a way, and in that game it started as an entry-level street car, but I'm not going to do that as such. What I'm meaning is, I guess I'm kind of not replicating it, am I? I mean, in the looks, okay? We'll replicate it in the looks, but we'll just throw whatever upgrades I want to on here. The exhaust notes didn't really change during street. Okay, now we've got a little bit of a rumble. I'll put it in sports pistons, and here we'll go and throw the twin turbo anti-lag. Because I remember in Flat Out Carnage, if you max upgraded Sparrowhawk, it would have a top speed of 221, which naturally this would be higher than that. But I'm not too worried about that. Now, stock brakes, we'll go and put in some sports. Springs and dampers. Now we're going to hybrid this thing, so I want race springs and dampers. And that's, yeah, I guess that's what I was meaning by replicate it, is make it competitive for road and dirt without losing too much control there. Now, roll cage will have none. And we'll put sport weight reduction, gearbox and drivetrain. Now, this in that game was a 5-speed, but we're going to put in the race transmission, which will make it a 6, and we're going to put the driveline and your diff. Now, I'm kind of struggling between race and rally diff, but in the end, I guess I'm just going to put a race diff on this. And last option we have here is the tires. Now, we want this to be competitive off-road and on-road. We have the rally tire compound. You would usually go for that, but since I'm trying to hybridize it, we will go 4. What's this here? We have 4.8 off-road, 4.8 off-road, and 5.9. What's our best option? Let's just put some rally tires. It seems like it'll be okay. We'll make them as wide as possible. As I remember in that game, it had some chunky tires on it. Now let's see here, sport rim style. So it's basically an Italian car powered by an American V8. Let's see what we have here. I want something with slight deep dishes going on. These are Japanese tires. American racing, let's see, what do we got? BBS. Let's look at a different category, shall we? Let's look in multi-piece. Got WOC, Work, Vox Racing, Wannabes, Rotty Forms. Nah, we're not going to put Rotty Forms. So I think I looked in Specialized briefly, but let's check down here. That's it. We'll go with some wheeled racing. We'll put that. That looks reasonably okay on here as well. Now, tire profile. What we want to do, rim size. Now, that thing was quite... Oh, well, unfortunately, you can't make the tire profile shorter, which I would have loved to do on this. So that'll have to do. Front track width, let's bring it out as wide as possible in the front and the rear. Now with that, let's hit the racetrack and see if it's fairly good. Now hopefully it goes well on dirt. Now Horizon 6 has a weird habit that if you have rally tyres on a rear wheel drive, it doesn't really help you in the rally racing department of things. Like me, I've gone and put sports suspension or race suspension on this, so that probably doesn't help. Like I said, I was going for a hybrid build here. I'm also curious to see if it's possible. Mind you, you can build anything you want in Horizon 6. I've just left me behind there completely. It still drives reasonably okay, I think, but the problem is it's very touchy, so you have to be kind of careful with the accelerator or you'll throw yourself into a spin. Well, the alternative is to convert it to all-wheel drive, but I kind of don't want to have every single off-road rally build I do to be all-wheel drive. Let's see if we can catch them up on that little bit of tarmac further on. Kind of like on the verge of almost losing control. Mustang Dark Horse, that was a mistake. I work on those every day and I'm just about sick of them, to be honest. Oh, let's see if we can get a little bit of, at least see if we can pass that Dark Horse. Probably not going to happen, but that's okay. And that now brings us to the end of the look at the Tomaso Pantera GT5. Now, was this a good addition to the festival playlist? I say yes, and I'm also fortunate that, or kind of grateful that it was available in the first week, as to me this is probably the only car that's worth collecting this week, as the others, to be honest, they don't really interest me, but then again I feel like they may be overshadowed by the Pantera. If you enjoyed the video, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.